My favourite quote ever is an ancient Chinese proverb, and it reads, "The best time to buy a bag was 20 years ago. The second best time to buy a bag is now." Well, it's something like that. I have done lots and lots of research into finding out what is the best luxury bag to invest your money in. In fact, I've been studying luxury bags day in, day out for over 5 years. And no, I'm not going to give you the usual splurge of telling you to go into an Hermes boutique, buy a Mini Kelly for $7,000, walk out, and an hour later sell it for over $20,000, because it's just not realistic. Although theoretically this is possible to do, it is practically impossible. You will need a constantly updated purchase account with Hermes, a brilliant SA that really likes you, and a good relationship with the brand before they even think about putting you on the waitlist. So before I tell you exactly the bag that I would recommend investing in, which by the way has increased over 131% in price over the last 10 years, which actually might not be the one that you want to invest your money in, I'm going to give you a few tips on what to look out for to maximize your investment of any bag that you're interested in, to ensure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. When you're looking to invest in a bag, you need to look at many things to maximize the price of what it's going to be worth in the future. So I'm going to tell you 5 things to be aware of before you make the purchase. So number 5, we need to be looking at durability. The better you keep the condition of your item, the more it will be worth in the future when you either want to sell it or just get it valued. So to keep a bag in good condition, the material is super important. The materials to avoid will be softer ones like lambskin leather, because these can often misshape, scratch, and fade really easily. You also really want to stay from heavy monogram patterns. There are a few brands that have some good ones like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Christian Dior, and Goyard, but you want to stay away from newly made ones like Marc Jacobs, Versace, and Valentino. You also want to stay away from the likes of shiny leathers, aka patent leathers, such as Louis Vuitton's Vernis leather. Although these are structurally really good, if you do scratch them, it is practically impossible to remove it because it's just a covered plastic. A lot of their brands have their own canvases like Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and these are very durable. But as logos become less and less desirable as we move into a world of quiet luxury, the worse your investment will be in a piece like this. It's not a huge mistake getting one of these pieces. However, just make sure you pick a brand that has popular designs such as Christian Dior and Goyard that have been around for a really long time. So number 4 is you need to look out for its practicality. The more wearable the bag, the more uses it fits, the more in demand it will be due to the larger amount of people that it will fit the needs of. Over the years, we have seen some really cool bags come out that are mega expensive. Look at the Saint Laurent Icare, for example. A bag that I loved when it first came out, but after seeing it more and more and understanding it, there's actually not that much use for it. It's too big, it's in your face, and just ultimately, it's not practical. On the other end of the spectrum, look at the Jacquemus Le Chiquito. This tiny bag is just not practical at all long term. Yeah, it might look good with a couple of outfits, but when you're looking for a bag that's an investment, you're not just looking for practicality, but also versatility too. Something that, to be fair, only a few bags possess. Number 3 is probably the most important one, and that's the price. Obviously, the price matters. An investment means to spend money now to get a return in the future. So for this, we do have to spend a reasonable amount of money to get a return on it in the future. Unless you manage to buy a bag on a whim because you like it or it's cute, and then somehow it turns out to be sold out everywhere and it never returns back in stock and it becomes the most hyped bag of the year because a celebrity has worn it, then an investment bag is not going to be cheap. Picking an investment bag has a real science to it. You can't, on average, just get lucky. And unfortunately, it is going to cost quite a lot for one of these pieces, but not as much as you might think. Number 2, and a lot of people forget this one, it's the colour. Colours come in and out of fashion all the time. Look at hot pink, for example. It was in fashion in the 1930s when Elsa Schiaparelli introduced us to it. And 90 years later, it's come back into fashion with the likes of Barbie and Valentino both using it regularly. But something like this is not a good colour for an investment piece, so stay away from trendy colours. But some classic colours aren't good either. Take white or cream, for example. Like we mentioned at the beginning, if you want your bag to be worth more in the future, you need to keep it in good condition. And having a really bright, light, white coloured bag, over the years, even with little amounts of use, it's easily going to pick up visible marks and dirt. So to maximise your profits on an investment piece, the best colours to go for are neutral, darker tones, like black, grey or beige. And also stick to classic hardware colours. Stay away from black hardware, monochrome hardware, rose gold and brushed metals. Just stick to the two classics of either silver or gold. And if I had to pick one, I would definitely choose gold. And number one is the timelessness of the brand or the style. My best advice is never ever invest in a trending bag. That's if the intention is to invest. If you just like the bag, then by all means, obviously buy it. Investing generally is a long-term game, and more often than not, it's actually really easy to predict. You just have to be willing to be patient and wait. Investing in trendy bags over a shorter period of time is risky. There is no evidence to back up that the investment will work. It's hard to predict, and more often than not, you'll end up losing money on it because you missed the hype in selling it because you're waiting for it to go to a certain amount, and no one wants it anymore. You need to be looking for classic bags and brands, ones that have been around for many, many years, because there is rock hard evidence to suggest that they will be very popular in many years to come. You also want to purchase it from a brand that has price increases in its strategy, a bag that's not easily acceptable to everyone, and one that either has to be bought from a reseller or a very, very short wait list, because this immediately screams that it's an in-demand bag. So if we look at all the information that I've told you, it is pretty obvious which is the best investment piece and the one that I would solely recommend. So we need the durable material like leather. So what's the most durable leather? It is definitely pebbled calfskin. We need a bag that can be worn many different ways to many different events, like a night out, a date night, to the cinema, or even just a quick trip to the shops. So a bag that has a long strap that can be adjusted shorter is perfect. The best colour to go for, by far, is just a simple classic black, and it needs to be from a timeless brand, constantly in demand, not super easy to access, and has price increases. So it's got to be no other than Chanel. So the exact bag that I was recommending buying for an investment piece is a Chanel classic double flat bag in the medium size in caviar leather with gold hardware. The price of this bag is super high, and if you didn't want to buy one new, I would definitely look to buy one secondhand where you can probably get it for 50% of the now retail price. But over the last 10 years alone, this bag has gone from $4,400 to $10,200, which is an increase of 131%. Now, I know this might not be in a lot of your budgets, but I've given you 5 tips there to look out for when you are browsing the luxury bag that you want within your budget, which is the durability, practicality and versatility, price, colour, and timelessness of the brand. So let me know in the comment section which bag you're thinking of investing in, and I'll tell you whether I think it's worth it or not. But remember, you don't have to buy a bag just for an investment. You can buy a bag just because you like it, and that's absolutely fine. But remember, if you want to come to resell it in the future, it might not be worth as much as you think it is, just because you bought it for a high price initially. Thank you very much for watching this video. In the comment section, let me know the bag that either you've invested in because it was an investment piece, or a bag that you're thinking of investing in, and I'll tell you whether I think it's a good investment. Remember to join me and Ella in the Luxe Circle, and if you want to know more about the luxury fashion industry, just click this video here and watch it because it is full of good information. See you next time.